Rose Yatali. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me this morning.
Thank you.
It is good to have you here. We are talking this morning about the Adult Literacy Tutors Association. One, you've got a seminar coming up. We'll get to that in a minute. But more importantly, we are talking about a kind of situation we have where adult learning is something that's absolutely necessary, very important. And some people, because it is taboo, some people because, well, they don't know where to begin. And some people just believe, I said believe, they're unable to participate in it. So you see, we're talking about health in the general area. Health, gender equality, poverty, every important social issue is impacted by low literacy. We make that very clear. When adults learn how to read, write, or do basic math, how to use computers, they have the power to lift themselves out of poverty, lower health care costs, and yes, there is a correlation there, find and keep sustainable employment, and ultimately change their lives, which means they are in fact helping the society, the community in which they live, and they are better citizens. The Adult Literacy Tutors Association is an NGO providing free literacy instructions to the public, where students only pay are you ready for this, $20 TT contribution for their workbooks each term. So, let my guest start speaking. Rose Yatali, how long has the Adult Literacy Tutors Association been in existence in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, the Adult Literacy Tutors Association has been in existence from the year 1992. Mm-hmm. So we are therefore celebrating 25 years this year.
A good quarter as the nation goes into 55. Detail some of the programs offered by the Adult Literacy Tutors Association. And at the same time, well, let me take one at a time. Detail some of the services offered for me, please.
The Adult Literacy Tutors Association, it's a non-profit organization, and it really offers comprehensive, structured adult literacy. We're the only company that offers that to the general public. All right, we are in about approximately 50 venues around the country, and there are issues that we have to face where the impact over the years, we have seen by doing surveys that there's a fallback in literacy. So ALTA is here to boost that and improve it.
There is a fallback because a national survey conducted by ALTA in 1994 and UE in 1995 showed that approximately 1 in 4 adults, or a quarter of the adult population, struggle with reading and writing, something folks don't want to admit.
That's right.
Adults with the lowest literacy levels earn substantially less, as we mentioned before, than their counterpart. So what ALTA is attempting to do is indeed very important. Most people don't make the connection that remaining at a disadvantage with low literacy impacts their children.
That's right.
Problem is, how is it going to impact my child? I'm paying for her. I'm doing everything I can to send her to school. But wait, when she gets home with the schoolwork, I have no input and I cannot relate to it. Speak and make that clear to our listeners why that is so important.
That is very, very important. The fact that an adult is unable to assist their own child in being able to go forward with their education, it's in some cases it seems pretty embarrassing. The adult feels a little ashamed, and therefore ALTA is here to intervene in that area so that we can build a bridge between the adult and the child. There are persons who have reached the ages of 50 or more and are not able to read or write. We are there to take care of that.
Rose Yatali, teacher with the Adult Literacy Tutors Association, is my guest this morning. There's no way you can minimize that point my guest just made, because when a parent is unable to be there for their child, there is a disconnect that starts happening. There is a shame that finds the adult finding something to always do to get away from it, or to offer some vague reply that leads the child astray, because it is clear she is not getting the best education. And the next thing we have is a division, a fracture, as it were. In addition to the child wanting to do the best for the parent is unable to do so, but she ends up being a victim of lower grades equally, and the cycle continues.
That's right.
I like the opportunity here to break it. So there is a taboo element involved with this. How do you deal with adults, Rose, you and your association? How do you deal with adults who are afraid to face up to what is just a misfortune that can be corrected?
Actually, what we do to bridge that gap and to make them a little more comfortable, we do not do a testing in the classroom. We don't teach like the conventional tutors. We are not at the front of the classroom. We move through the classroom, engage each individual, and take our time with them. They learn at their own pace. They are not tested, and they don't feel the need to strive towards cheating or pretending by memorizing stuff. They go through a simple pace with us on a one-on-one basis. So we teach them to be real.
Yeah, a couple of things we're going to do as we continue this conversation. We are talking about ALTA, which is the Adult Literacy Tutors Association. This conversation we have had with them before, but we're having it again, and we'll have it again. And one of the primary reasons is because come September 4th, there is it is declared International Literacy Day, and they will be registering students. September. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The 8th of September.
September the 8th.
International
September the 8th,
Literacy.
that is correct. International Literacy Day is September the 8th. So we will go into details of that. But what I want to pass on before we continue discussing is a telephone number so folks can take it. Because if they have a number and a website, it's always good as we go through the discussion. We'll get back to it.
Also, we have 624-2582. That is the Port of Spain line. And there's a cell phone there you can contact as well. It's 741-9454. We also have numbers at Arima and South. In Arima, you have 664-2582. And in South, you have 653-4656.
Okay, so those are numbers that we will be repeating this morning, and very soon we'll spend some more time dealing with the actual registration, how you go about registering, and so on. I just want to stay with this area of dealing with the taboo attached to it, because that is a deterrent to a lot of people who otherwise want to get help, but they are afraid to. My guess is Rose Yatali. Let us deal with, you say you don't do the testing. So they don't feel embarrassed at that point, but in the classrooms itself, what is done there to make them comfortable? Because among your peers, among your colleagues, maybe people in your community, you're challenged and you're not able to give your best to learning because you have your guard up all the time. How is that dealt with?
We use methods that are not conventional, as I mentioned before. We have the students work with, use their workbooks, as well as the information that is provided by ALTA. We use cards, flashcards, and we work with individuals on 2 particular days in the week. So they just come in for 2 days, Tuesdays and a Thursday, or Monday and Wednesdays at the various venues. They are actually taught to draw images that will make it easier for them to learn. So this is individual. We are not asking them to look precisely at what the book says only. We give them the opportunity to draw images, to take their time and learn based on what is familiar. And in this case, in this way, they're actually able to relax. We use newspapers. We ask them to look at the newspapers on a daily basis and to look at things that are familiar to them in their community as well. And in some cases, some people use the Bible. Those who want to get to that point, you use the Bible. Then you have the students their children, who would have their class books, their books from at school, and they practice with all of these things. But basically, they are using the workbooks provided by the ALTA, and this engages them in a way that no other reading material has done.
Most important thing is getting past that stigma and beginning to relax and realizing that you're just here to better yourself. I mentioned $20 per term is what you pay towards your workbooks and so on, minimal. How expensive outside of ALTA? How expensive outside of ALTA would one trying to do remedial classes be?
Well, at the moment, I am not particularly familiar with those prices, but I'm sure in our modern times, it's over $2,000 and $3,000.
I was saying it just so folks understand that they have a real deal here.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so folks, you get the backdrop so far on what ALTA is all about. Some of the programs that are being offered. Go ahead, please.
We have also provided a reading circle, which is the Reading Circle Guide. This also helps students with reading for once a week, a 2-hour period. The classroom time is also limited. It's not stressful. So it's just 2 hours in the classroom. We have this done for persons who want to improve on their comprehension as well as their reading, and we have a spelling program as well. So it's all round to be able to, it encompasses everything. So
and this
the
is also
person-
done in the comfort of the communities.
comfort of the communities. We use the libraries, Carnegie in San Fernando, as well as community centers, and in some cases, churches.
Fantastic. Rose Yatali is my guest this morning. We're talking about International Literacy Day, September 8th, and ALTA will be registering students at venues around the country for free community classes. Tell us more about that.
Because of International Literacy Day coming up on the 8th of September, ALTA is going to be doing registrations on the 6th and the 7th of September. That is Tuesday and Wednesday, the 6th and the 7th of September, from the period during the period of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. These registrations would be held throughout the country at all of the libraries in San Fernando, Princestown, Point Fortin, Mayaro, Siparia, Arima, Tunapuna, Shogunas, San Juan, Port of Spain, as well as Cuba and Sangre Grande. Some of the other venues are Shiva Boys, Hindu College in Pinal, Brighton AC Primary School at La Brea, and Warrenville Regional Complex.
So, folks, in all areas have an opportunity to get out there. The other thing that I think always bring people closer, now, did I miss anything on the registration there? So they get in there, they register. When actually do the classes begin?
The classes begin actually 1 week after the normal school cycle.
Okay.
And also to mention, a person coming in to register, you must walk with your ID card. It's the only thing that is required, an ID card.
An ID card and $20.
As well, the $20 come a little later on.
Oh, later on. Walk with it right away. Take care of it and get it out of the way. And then there are two areas of this I want to continue in, and we'll just go back and remind them of those telephone numbers in a minute. But most people make the connection, or rather see the urgency of improving their lot in life, or their literacy, when they talk in terms of money. There is a great disparity between those of low literacy and those of comprehension level, and folks need to understand and make that connection. Help us, if you will, this morning do that.
The connection really is simple, and a person who is employed and is unable to read or write certainly will not grow in that organization as fast as someone who is able to. So it really is a hindrance for a person who is unable to read and write. So they stay at the lower level. Their income is, of course, less, and they are that lower grade because of their being unable to read or write.
Which brings two questions to mind here. One deals with the individual, and the other is with the corporate citizen. I speak oft times of the corporate citizen because if we have literacy increased, we have a bigger workforce for them to choose from. So it's a win-win situation. All the more reason why the corporate citizen should move in to assist an NGO like yours, and the individuals can. Individuals who are desirous of making a contribution, and making a contribution is not necessarily financial. So explain the opportunities available for those who want to give back or be part of this, please.
Besides being an ALTA tutor and getting involved in our reading circle guides, we have sponsorship. A student can be sponsored, and it will be a simple fee of $600 per year. Students don't pay for the classes, but providing supplies and support for classes, it costs the company. So ALTA has arranged where a sponsor can be had for a student. You also are able to give a gift of reading for $200 per student, which covers them for one term.
So if you know someone who definitely need assistance in this, we come this Christmas, instead of going and spending $500 on something, you can in fact put aside $200 and take that person, give them that as a gift.
That's right. And more we are noticing persons are coming forward to sponsor a student because it's just $200.
Yes.
And we do spend much more than that on frivolous things.
Well, even for transportation to go to a party, that's it. Talk about the corporate citizen, because the NGO, a non-governmental organization, that's what the NGO stands for.
Yes.
It means that they are not getting any money out of the government. They are waiting for assistance to come from you. In some cases, some NGOs do have accommodation with the governments, but primarily the money comes from contributions. Speak of the corporate citizen.
Right.
What sort of cooperation has ALTA been getting from the corporate citizen, and what is ALTA asking of them?
One of our major corporate citizens is the Republic Bank, and we are very grateful for their assistance throughout the years. We do thank them very much for all of their sponsorship over the period.
And therein lies the problem. I'm happy that you can call one such person, but without singling out anybody, at the end of the day, we have to say that very important point, that if we lift literacy standards, then we are well on our way to providing something that every employer, every business would like to have. It would like to have them because what you have is a better workforce. On the one hand, if you're looking for your immediate, if you're looking at the wider picture, when you have greater literacy, it means more people are going out, getting more gainful employment, bringing home more money to come back and spend in your business. I mean, it is no way one can lose with something like this. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been pushing that here on Brunch, and we will continue doing that for the corporate citizen to live up to their responsibility.
I must mention here, though, that people who are interested in, citizens who are interested in becoming a tutor, it's not difficult. You can call in on the lines that I mentioned before, and all you need to have is the grade 1 or 2 in the CSEC English. And training is done in the month of April to May each year. Training is done twice a week for at least 2 hours. All of the information is normally sent to you once you call in and you show an interest. And we are certainly looking forward to more persons coming forward to be tutors as well as sponsors.
In the United States, they say, I'm from the show me state, Missouri. Show me, and then I'll believe you. Question is, a lot of folks may ask the question, okay, there was a study from ALTA in 1994 and the UE in 1995. As we mentioned before, a quarter of the adult population struggling with reading and writing skills. ALTA has been in existence for 25 years. The question then is asked, what sort of improvement have you seen from that period to now? You being your organization, yes.
Yes. ALTA has seen a great improvement in the need for persons to come forward. People are not so shy anymore in coming forward to claim on the fact that they are in need of our service. So we have seen an improvement in the classrooms. What we need more, though, is the sponsorship, as well as more tutors to come forward. We are lacking in some areas to have tutors come in to deal with our students.
I got another question in that area as far as how folks are assisting ALTA, which is to say a family member realizes that there is a challenge from another family member. And you want to assist, but because it's a delicate topic, you don't know how to approach it because you don't want to embarrass the person, but you know there is an opportunity like what ALTA is offering, and you want to coax them into it. Some of the best ways one can go about doing that. Because these are real issues. You know, you see it, you want to help, but you don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. But there is such an easy way for them to move forward here. You're saying, I've got to find a way to break this to this person. How do you do that?
Well, you have to take this on a personal level. Each individual with knowledge that there's someone in the home or perhaps a friend, a close friend. Once a person is a friend, you should be able to approach them very gently. And in most cases, the numbers that we have given are the numbers that you can call. We hardly ever have persons referring another person to come. But most of the times, people hear about ALTA or they have seen where another friend is moving forward in their home with the way they read or the way their children are responding to assistance in the home. So on a personal level, they do come forward.
If I have a situation, for instance, where I see someone who does not understand that correlation with higher revenue coming in, a better paying job, don't see how this impact on their children, because the children depend on the adult to at least be on par with some of the work they're bringing home. Somebody who cannot make that connection, and I had to go woo that person, how would you best advise me to do that?
Well, with your personality, I think it would not be difficult at all.
But let's just take somebody else then.
Another person, I guess they can perhaps show them the intricacies. They can point out to them that to be able to fill out an application form, to do a job sheet and so on, all of these things, it takes literacy. So you must be able to handle simple things like that. And I think the best approach perhaps might be to just encourage them to want to do it by asking, wouldn't you prefer to be in a higher pay grade? Wouldn't you prefer to be getting a larger income like I am getting?
Can I bring somebody to
That's
observe
right.
one of the ALTA classes?
Oh, certainly.
Right, so that could be one way too. Say,
That can also be
accompany me.
another
I'm going down to an
I'm
ALTA
going to a
class,
class.
and see what they're doing, and maybe
That's right.
when they see other people there, then the taboo, the shame, the hesitation will go away.
Certainly.
Anything else, Rose Yatali, a teacher with the Adult Literacy Tutors Association, you'd like to pass on to our listeners this morning?
We do have a lot of success stories, and I'd just like to mention one of them,
Yes.
a young man by the name of John. He failed his common entrance because, of course, he was not able to read and write clearly. And he went on to start working, and he studied a little further, and he was still not able to sit the CSEC. And on realizing all of this, he himself found out that the way he was being taught to read or write at school was not conducive to him learning. So he sought a better way. And ALTA was able to put him on that standing, on that good foot, and that good footing. And he went on to study, and he did his exams, and he is now employed at the kiss baking company. And he has gone even further to apply through the London, the School of Study Laws there. So he is actually has been accepted. So during the period of September that term, he would be going on to study law, and I'm sure he will be successful.
There is no such thing, and congratulations to him, there's no such thing as beginning too late.
No, not at all.
Literacy and improving where you're at, your lot, your hand dealt by circumstances of times. And sometimes, as you just said, in the case of this young man, the methodology used is not something that appeals to some people. There is no way you can have a one size fit all. So sometimes
right.
folks need something different. The
Different.
first thing we have to do is break down that whole stigma that you're lazy or you're stupid. No,
Yes.
I just circumstantially was not able to grasp at the time it was offered. But I get a second chance at it.
That's right. People learn at different stages.
Rose Yatali, was really good having you this morning. I need you just to repeat those numbers one more time for me. First of all, the registration date, where registration is taking place, and give me the telephone numbers where they can get in touch with the organization, please.
The registration dates would be Tuesday the 6th and Wednesday the 7th of September, during the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The venues are the libraries, San Fernando, Princestown, Point Fortin, Mayaro, Siparia, Arima, Tunapuna, Shogunas, San Juan, Port of Spain, Cuba, and Sangre Grande. Some of the other venues are the Shiva Boys Hindu College in Pinal, Brighton AC Primary School in Lebury, Warrenville Regional Complex. I must mention, too, for the first time, ALTA is doing registrations prior to the 6th of September and the 7th of September.
Oh, okay, so like Monday and so
Yes.
on in the early part of September,
You
folks
can
can come in
call.
and
You can call in.
Oh, fantastic. They don't have to wait until the
No.
actual registration days itself. Yeah, that's good. I just need the two telephone numbers. Usually I ask for two main telephone numbers because sometimes when we throw too many telephone numbers at our listeners, they don't get it.
All
So
right.
give me the two main numbers that folks can
Major
call.
numbers, Port of Spain office 624-2582 and South office 653-4656.
653
4656.
56. Rose Yatali, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me this morning. By the way, folks, you can also go up to the website, go inside of your Google, and you put ALTA, the Adult Literacy Tutors Association. Put that in, it will bring you to their page. You can look at that page and you can get this information even on a slower basis if you have that opportunity. Rose, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Thank you very much.